In this segment, we meet Intergovernmental Affairs Director Ms. Cecilia Munoz. Our conversation began with a brief description of the director's responsibilities.
My title is Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, which means that I manage the administration's, especially the White House's relationships with everybody who's elected in this country except the U.S. Congress. So that means governors, mayors, county officials, state legislators, state treasurers, secretaries of state in the states. All of those folks have a reason to be connected to the federal government, and our job is to give them the information they need and the partnership they need from the federal government so that they can do their jobs well. The President believes so strongly that if we're going to bring change to people's lives, we need strong partnerships with state and local government, and those partnerships need to be vibrant. We need to be listening as well as offering information, and my job is to make sure that that connection happens. I'm also fortunate that I'm part of the policy team working on issues affecting the Latino community, because that's my area of expertise. The folks running the Domestic Policy Council have invited me onto the team, and I'm particularly helping drive the debate on immigration reform, which is something I've spent 25 years working on. So I'm the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. I kind of moonlight as a Latino policy person. So I have a great portfolio. It's an exciting thing to come into work every day. We've had actually a really dynamic relationship with California. The Speaker of the Assembly, Speaker Bass, has come in several times. In fact, she brought much of the State Assembly with her for a series of meetings that we were able to pull together so that the members of the State Assembly were connected to people making policy decisions here in Washington. We have a great relationship with the governor. Governor Schwarzenegger has been a great partner to this administration, and we've been in contact with him, with his office, a great deal, especially as California goes through a budget crisis. We're working with people on both sides of the aisle to make sure that we understand the dynamics in the state, to make sure that we're good partners to all of the folks in state and local government in California.
Because of her work in public policy, Hispanic Lifestyle wanted to know how Latinos are a part of the debate on the important issues facing our country.
There's a Latino piece of all of the major debates that we're engaged in. So when you think about health care, for example, health insurance reform, Latinos are more likely to be uninsured than any other group of Americans. We have more at stake in this debate than anybody, as well as suffering from disparities in particular health conditions. And these are very much Latino issues, and this is very much our debate. If you look at the debate on energy policy, a lot of it has to do with creating the kind of new energy economy, if you will, and that's going to create all kinds of jobs, and we are more attached to the labor force. And so those jobs and our future as a community are inextricably linked. What's also important and a real source of pride for me is how much Latinos are at the table driving the education debate, the healthcare debate, the debate on energy and global warming. We have people in prominent positions across the administration. About 10% of our most senior appointees are Latinos, and half of those are Latinas. So as a Latina woman, it's also a great source of pride that we're so well represented in policymaking positions all across the administration.
We asked Ms. Munoz to describe the moment she was asked to join the Obama administration.
Well, it's a bit of an embarrassing story how I came to the White House, because when I was first offered the job, which is an incredible honor, I actually turned it down. I have teenage daughters at home and a wonderful supportive husband, but I wasn't sure I was ready to turn my family's life upside down. I got another call after that from the Chief of Staff from Rahm Emanuel, who then handed the phone to President Obama. And he twisted my arm pretty hard, and at that point you just can't say no. So I'm just incredibly grateful for the opportunity. But I'm also really grateful that I have such a supportive family. My husband and my daughters have been extraordinarily supportive, and we kind of see this as a contribution we are all making to our country and our community, and I'm very, very fortunate about that. Well, you know, I'm very in touch with my father's excitement about my taking this job. My mom passed away before I started here, but my dad talks about it every time we talk. He's so excited. He's an immigrant from Bolivia, and to have his daughter working in the White House is a source of extraordinary pride for him, which also gives me great pride. I actually get the shivers every morning when I walk in the door. It is such a privilege to work in this building and to work with the people that I get to work with every day. This is a really dedicated, hardworking group of people.
Ms. Munoz finished our conversation by talking about her commitment to public service.
I started my career as a volunteer for a social services organization that was serving immigrants, actually, and that was a way of kind of staying close to my parents who are immigrants. And I had the great good fortune to develop skills as an advocate and to use those skills for 20 years at the National Council of Las Razas. Well, I started working in public service as a volunteer, and I think that's a great way for people to start careers or to engage no matter what they do for a living. When the president talks about this being our time, I really, as a Latina, I really hear that to mean that we have real influence as a community, and we have real challenges as a community, but we're not just sort of the objects of policy decisions, we're also the drivers of public policy. So for people who are concerned about whatever it is, about how responsive the educational system is to our kids, or how our access to health care happens, whatever it is, there's not only plenty of room, but plenty of need for people to be engaged and connected at every level of government, at every level of their community.